if that works for everyone. And yeah, Isabel, feel free to share a screen. Sorry, let me just make you the host just in case there's any issues. Okay, yeah, I just made you co-host. So if you need to share your screen, feel free. So I'll mute myself. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Elizabeth. I guess start admitting people too. But hi, everyone. Can I get a help, something in the chat to see how you guys are doing today? I'm trying to do this is how the Roblox university recruiting team does engagement. So I'm trying to see if I can pull it off too. But I'm glad to see that some people here are into Roblox. I don't know how to give away the Robux that I have, but if I did know how to do it, I would give all of you the Robux that I have. If you teach me how, I will share. But let's see. I'm assuming everyone can see my little slide. Okay. Yes, I see a yes. Awesome. So, hi everyone. My name is Isabel. I am a lot of things, including I am a college student. That's just kidding. What is kidding? What are we kidding about? Oh, the Robux? You could be kidding, but I'm still gonna share if I knew how. But yeah. So I'm currently a college senior at Hunter College in New York City. I'm studying computer science and biology. I'm also a product manager at Roblox, which is the main reason why y'all are here. I see more people. I am also a chief technical officer at a European software as a service startup called A Forum. I am the lead developer and a board member for this mental health nonprofit. I'm a hackathon organizer. I think I've done 4 already. CUNY Hackathon, Tech Together New York. So which I guess not everyone is familiar with because everyone's from Washington. I'm a freelancer, I'm a mentor and a friend. But yeah, if anyone has any questions at any point, feel free to unmute or type in chat or anything else that makes you comfortable. If I'm going at too fast of a pace, let me know as well. But yeah, so I'm a product management intern at Roblox this summer. To those who can anyone let me know if you guys know who Sorkus is? But yeah, so I'm a product management intern. I created 2 games in the studio. They're not like whole games. They're just one of the things that I had to do as a product manager was get to know the studio, since that's what my team is. Yeah. I guess what I can go into in the meantime is talking about what product. How good are you at Lua? I know enough to be able to script some simple things like I did a health bar because one of my first games was the first game that I made was a combat game. So I had to make my own health bar. And then for the second game, I had to create my own, but that was super duper basic, like a kill block. I think those are the only things I had to actually code, because so in my defense, I don't know too much Lua because my team is the marketplace, so I have to use the assets. I have to use the stuff that are given to me instead of making my own. But yeah, so I'm not too good at Lua. You guys are probably better at it than I am, which is super duper cool. But yeah, I guess this slide was about me talking about how product management works, in case any of you are interested in an alternative way of using your tech skills. Because product managers are, in essence, the bridge between the different teams. This is how I see it. I could be, there are different explanations. Every single product manager that I've spoken with has a different definition or a different like explanation of what a product manager does. But for me, we are the bridge that puts together what the design team says, what the data science team says, what the business team says, and what the developers are trying to do. But also we drive the vision and the execution. So there are two parts of being a product manager. The vision, which is like, what feature are we trying to build? What thing are we trying to improve? What user request for a feature should we prioritize first? What is it supposed to look like? Not just in terms of design, but like user experience. What does the user go through in order to get to that feature or to that functionality? Like that's the vision stuff. And then the execution stuff is what is the timeline for this project? Which steps go first? Which ones are a later priority? And then roadmaps, release timelines, stuff like that. Those are the execution parts of being a product manager. And like, it's a balance between both that makes you a good PM. For my project, my project specifically for this summer is, excuse me, if you guys know the asset manager in Roblox, that's the thing that lets you bulk import, lets you manage the assets that you created, whereas stuff that you bought from the marketplace is in Toolbox, which is a little bit confusing. If you guys noticed that, that would be like bonus points for you. Well, not bonus points in the sense that you are suffering through a bit of a confusion in terms of user experience, but my job is to combine those two, asset manager and Toolbox, so that there's a singular place for all assets and like managing them, sorting them, filtering them, stuff like that. And my job is to see if, to visualize that, to plan that from what it's supposed to look like, and what solutions it's supposed to, what problems it's supposed to solve, all the way to what does it look like when we roll it out. Granted, when I said earlier that it's half vision, half execution, most of my time at Roblox, because it's only for 3 months and there's only so much you can do in 3 months. You'd think there's a lot, but apparently there's not a lot you can do in 3 months. I am very vision heavy, like what it's supposed to look like versus how it's going to be done. And are you more of a builder or a coder? That is, can you define the difference between, because from my understanding, builder is like hardware stuff and coder is like software stuff. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, I did not mention this earlier. I've been in software engineering since 2018, so 19, 20. So I've been in software engineering for 3 years now, and I'm only recently transitioning to product management. So I do have experience in coding. I just figured that, so one of the things that I like, okay, so I think if I had to choose between building and coding, building was super duper fun. Like building the game, everyone really commended me for the games that I made, because I kind of put my heart into it, and I guess that showed. So I had fun with that, but coding is something that I guess I'm good at, but not so much having fun in, but I still like know how to do it and like think it's cool and stuff. And then for the how many Robux I have, I think it's like 10,000 right now. And it was like significantly more when they first gave it to me. I could be wrong. Yo, right? Um, uh, it's super cool because like I have like 3 different costumes for my avatar because that's the only thing I want to spend it on. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Do I make hats? I've never tried making avatar like assets pieces. Unfortunately not. Now it's something I want to try before I end my internship. But yeah, where was I? Because I have a lot of trouble retaining my train of thought. Oh, I was in software engineering for so long, and then some things that I like to, some nuggets of wisdom that I like to impart when doing these kinds of things is that um, knowing what you want out of your career, like, for example, in my many internships, I think about stuff like, is this company a good fit for me? Or is this job something I really want to do? Are these responsibilities something that A, I can handle and like accomplish, and B, enjoy and thrive in? So one of the things that are like one of the many things that I love about Roblox is that, for example, they have very good work-life balance. I I guess this translates to like, for example, if you're super duper stressed at school, you won't have time for hanging out with your friends. Work-life balance later on is like whether or not you're working full-time or more than full-time. And like if you're working overtime, how much of that is bleeding into your personal life? Um, Roblox really not pushes us, but like discourages working overtime so that you have a personal life. And that is significantly different from a lot of the other companies who like make you work 60, 70 hours a week out of, as opposed to like 40, which is full time. So that's one of the things I love about them. They're also very friendly and like, so if you guys are comfortable, turn on your cameras so I can see all of your beautiful faces. But that is also something else that Roblox taught me. Like even if it's a work from home environment, it makes it a little less impersonal and a little less distant if we turn on our cameras, because we're seeing each other, and there's more of a connection there. So that's something they taught me. They're also super kind of like, even if it's a big company, like it's big in the sense that it's at least 1,000 people, but it's not like Facebook, Amazon, Apple kind of big. But so there's still that sense of it's a tight knit community. And like we have company lunches and we have like team lunches and we have socials and like happy hours. I haven't been to the happy hour yet, but do you know Builderman? Dave Bajus. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Dave, yeah, we've had coffee chats. I've not spoken personally to him, but like I've listened to him talk. I think I've asked a question at one point. I don't think I added him. I don't. But I am in that official Roblox group where all the employees are in, and then there's like a tiny little icon next to my name. Oh, sure. Add me. Wait, if you let me know which one you are, I won't. I'll accept it. Dinner then. Okay, I'm gonna save this chat so I can remember who adds me, but that's who I am. Or maybe I'll just accept everyone. That makes more sense. But yeah. Yes. So Builderman is so that's another thing about Roblox. It's there's no like giant gap between levels of uh, uh like management or so, where like you don't get to talk to the CEO, you don't get to talk to the directors. I'm in meetings with Sorkus every week, and he's the vice president of product, and I'm just a relatively low product management intern. So there's that tight knit community there. And like I said, I was able to talk to Builderman. And then yeah, so did I go through everything I love about Roblox? Because there's a lot of them. And then oh, so other stuff that I did for Roblox is a competitive research, which is like um, comparing what Roblox does versus what everyone else is doing. So in this case, what I did was try out Unity, try out Unreal. I tried out Blender, and for some reason I was told to try out the way that Google Drive does things, even though it's like completely different, but you can still learn different things from other places. So that's pretty cool. And then the product strategy document is my main like deliverable, or like the thing that I hand in at the end of the entire internship. Um, I've been working on it for about like 3 weeks now. And it's been a bit of a doozy for me because as a programmer, you're very like hands-on and like, how am I gonna do this kind of mindset? Whereas as a product manager, you're very like long haul view, long term, how is this gonna look in a few weeks, months, quarters? Kind of mentality. So shifting from that very specific, concrete mindset to a vague, like vague was the word that like came to me, but that kind of mentality was a little difficult for me. So it took me a while to like get through that learning curve, but that's perfectly okay. That's what internships are for. So stuff that I did for that I'm doing for that product strategy document are like, what is the motivation? What am I trying to do with it? What is the value proposition? Which is, what is, as the name suggests, what is the value that this project will give to the users? And then I have the long-term vision, like what do I want it to look like? Not just design, but like functionalities and stuff, and the objectives. User stories are like, this is the one that I think I had trouble with the most, which is the first part of it. Like one kind of user stories is like, what are the users currently facing? What are they currently doing? And like experiencing. So as a Roblox developer, I have trouble finding my assets. So that's one user story. And then you list down like a bunch of user stories, and that's how you determine like stuff that users are doing. Like that's the format at which that information is conveyed. And then another kind of user story is like what the ideal state is. So as a Roblox developer, I want a centralized place for both my created and bought assets. So that's what the ideal user flow would be like. And then, so I've never caught a hacker before, but I now know the protocol for like how they catch people who like, for example, I know because we're just marketplace. I don't think you can do a lot of hacking within marketplace, but like, for example, there are those people who like copy assets and then just tweak one tiny little thing or not tweak anything at all and then sell it for a different price. Like that is one of the bigger problems that marketplace is facing, and I'm slowly learning the way that they're trying to catch those people, the assets that are duplicates. That's the word I was looking for. Duplicates. Yeah. Do I have any tips for starting to work in my industry? So do you mean product management or do you mean gaming industry for Carol? Thank you for that question, by the way. And then in the meantime, for that, Aiden, would you say the pay at Roblox is good? I am going to say that, okay, I'm going to say two things about that are vague enough that it's not like obvious, and like, I don't, because I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but it's enough that if I worked so number one, Roblox pay is so good, it's better than Fang, except Netflix, because no one pays better than Netflix, but like it's better than Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google and like a bunch of other places, because they're very like they're trying to get the very, very, very best engineers, and in doing so they will pay the very, very, very best engineers. Second of all, I'm an intern. I am like the bottom of the food chain. And yet, if my hourly was turned into a salary, like if I projected that to be the entire year instead of just 3 months, I would be making six figures as an intern. So, can you imagine how much the full time people are getting paid? So, yes, Roblox pays really, really well. 11 out of 10 would recommend. Once you guys are in college, which is like a while from now, but once you eventually get there, if I can still send referrals, or if I'm like finally getting that return offer, and finally six figures is 100,000, not a 1 million. That's seven figures. I don't think anyone pays $1 million yet. I will find that. I will work there, but as of right now, I haven't found someone that pays $1 million. Um, let's see. So yeah. Oh, and like relating that to a wholesome thing. Find a company that pays well, not only because they pay well, but because that means that they value you as an employee. Like you gotta, some things that you look for in a company that you work for, is that you got to make sure that they value you. So if you're sick, they give you like paid time off. If you're going through something, like let's say you have a disability, they will go through the accommodations with you. I don't know if anyone here has that, like a disability, but I do. And I it took a lot out of, so this is a story time related to Roblox, because it's one of the many things that I love about them, and it's something that I if this applies to you, I want you to look for. But basically, I asked for, do you get free Robux? To know, yes, I do get free Robux. They gave us like 12K in the beginning, at 13, I don't know, something like that. But I have like 10 left right now because I spent a lot on avatar stuff. But yeah, going back, I'm gonna repeat. Yeah, thanks. Okay. So I have a disability, and in the middle of my internship, my symptoms came back, and I was like, oh no, I finally have to say something about it because it's affecting my work. And I was really, really worried because not everyone is very receptive. Um, it's three eyes. Maybe it's that to Grayson, but um, it's where was I? I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought. But I I asked for help from my mentor. So I have a mentor and I have a hiring manager. I told both of them that I was having trouble with work and that I wanted to, I needed some help trying to adjust to my symptoms affecting my work. So they were very, very supportive about it. Um, and I got the accommodations that I need, and they always check up on me. And just overall, that made me feel like, okay, even though I'm not being the absolute best right now, they still value me and take care of me, and make sure that I get everything that I need to be a good Roblox intern. So I love that question. How has Roblox impacted your family insurance and other things? So as for insurance, they have a policy where like you have to work 30 days to earn the um earn the benefits, and then another 30 days to request the benefits. So I technically only have a month of benefits while I'm at Roblox because I only work for 3 months. But they have a very good insurance policy where like it's not just me, it's my dependents as well. And like anyone that are like, if I had a spouse, if I had children, they would be covered too, stuff like that. As for my family, I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is that they impacted me such that they're super duper proud of me. spouse is your marriage partner, like your husband or your wife. Going back, because I remember that I forgot a question that I didn't answer, and which was Carol asking if there were any tips to start working in the industry. So to start working in product management, my best suggestion is like start, if you're already technical, which I'm assuming because y'all are all here, you have a technical background already. So take advantage of that technical background because that gives you an edge as a product manager. Because it is more valuable for someone managing an engineering team to know engineering. So as a PM intern, I was actually given a coding assessment as my first first step in the interview process, just so they knew that even if I don't have to code, so I haven't written a single line of code for this entire internship. I've written it for my other responsibilities, but not for this internship. I haven't written a line of code, which is both worrisome and very relaxing because I don't have to write lines of code. Aiden, I am going to Hunter College. It's a CUNY, New York City, small school. But yeah, so if you have a technical background, you will excel, you will thrive as a product manager, because you already know what to say to the developers, how to communicate with them, stuff like that. And one thing that I recently suggested to someone that made sense was, if you're going into product management and you have like hackathon experience or like project experience, list down the ones where you had a PM role. Like you were the one who planned out what the project is going to look like. You were the one who planned out how it's going to be accomplished. Like the maybe you made the wireframes, maybe you made the roadmap, stuff like that. If you did that, put that on your resume, and then that'll make you stand out when you're applying for product management roles. Volunteering for leadership opportunities is not necessarily product management, but is very good for like transferable skills, because it's not easy to get your first product role. So going to like adjacent like positions will still give you that edge to get to your first product role. So that's another thing that I have. Okay, so I can send friend requests. Like we can discuss this through Discord so that we don't lose it at the end of the call. And then we can do that, Grayson. And then for Aiden, I'm assuming this question was like, am I coding for STEM League? It's like barely, because I'm teaching the web development side. So there's not like heavy, like I didn't have to do a lot there. But for example, I mentioned that I was a lead developer for a nonprofit. For them, I have to, so for them, I'm doing some coding. Going back, I'm all over the place. Thank you for being patient with me, you guys. As for the other thing, it was either as a product manager or as a gamer, or not a game industry. So another thing that I didn't list down in my list of many things that I do, like this one, I'm also a project manager at a game studio. So I do have some experience with like the gaming industry outside of Roblox. So like 2 things within the gaming industry already. And I think that the way to go through it is like, so if you're an intern, if you're just starting out, even little things like saying, oh, I play video games will go a long way, because it shows that you're interested in the industry. I remember I was applying for Activision Blizzard, and the recruiter was saying, if you say you play video games on your resume, or show that you're in a game design club or something like that, like any semblance of being interested in gaming in your resume will give you an edge there. What else? Yeah. As long as you have like interest, and would you say okay, so okay, number one, Grayson, there is a relatively, so the logic of like loops and conditional statements, the same is there in almost every, yeah, probably every programming language. So yes, that's the same in Python and Lua. However, the syntax, like the way that you format the logic is different between Python and Lua. However, Python and HTML, or Lua and HTML, are very different, because HTML is technically not a programming language, in the sense that you're not like, there's no functionality there. You're just showing content and like determining what the content looks like, instead of giving a functionality to it. So maybe JavaScript in the web development side would be the more better way to compare it to. And Robel, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, is absolutely right. It is a loaded question to ask about the gaming industry, because it's not the best. Like, remember when I first said, like, one of the first things I said about about Roblox is that they have very good work-life balance, where like you don't do overtime and stuff like that. There's this thing in the gaming industry called crunch time, where like you work double the hours and just like burn the midnight oil trying to finish the game before the release date or something, and everyone just puts in way more time than they're supposed to, burns out all the way, and that's just kind of the usual for the gaming industry sometimes. So that's why I said that Roblox is an outlier, and Roblox is unique because they don't do that, even though they're in the game industry. So that's a very, it's something to look out for, is what I'm saying. The gaming industry is like super duper fun, and it's probably, if you're into video games, it's super duper rewarding to work in some place that you know. For Grayson, the most popular game in Roblox is like, it changes instead of saying they have, instead of, there it is, thank you, I'm sorry. Instead of saying which one is the most popular game, because it fluctuates very easily, they have like a top 10 where, thank you, Elizabeth. They have a top 10 where all of the, no, I think it's top 24. I don't know why it's that number, but I think they have a top 24 games, and then they speak with the developers of those games regularly as part of their research for like what how to improve the game experience, stuff like that. They don't keep track of like the best game. Bye, Carol. We'll miss you. I hope I was like relatively okay at answering the question that you did ask. I don't think, oh, okay. There's this thing that I completely forgot about, but at least we have like half an hour left. If you guys have any questions about stuff like these, I know you guys are either in middle school or high school, so if like transitioning from high school to college is something you're interested in, or maintaining mental health, or internships or hackathons, or like tech careers, if you guys have any questions about that, I am open. I've rambled for a while. Oh, at the end it shows like my social. So if you can, yes, I do love Mulan. I think that question comes from my profile picture on Discord, which is the crying matchmaker. Mulan is my favorite because she's the if I remember correctly, she's the first did Jasmine come out first, or did Mulan come out first? Because if Mulan came out first, she's the first like woman of color that's a Disney princess. But yeah, so she's super duper important to me because she's Asian. Um, and representation is important. Um, what else? What else can I talk about? Give me somewhere to start, guys. And then I'll just like ramble for another half hour if you just give me like a starting point. How is applying? Um, Applying to Roblox, I am assuming is the question, was fairly, so I guess I can talk a little bit about how you try to get internships in general, because just to like generalize it a little. I got one coding assessment, which was the thing that I mentioned earlier, which is like an online kind of like HackerRank or Leak Code. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. Um, they're like data structures and algorithms type questions. Um, ooh, maybe we can do that for like higher level students, Elizabeth, like DSA like track. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But um the so I had that coding assessment, which was like data structures and algorithms heavy. And then I had a behavioral assessment, which is like what you call the regular interviews that you have, like, tell me about yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Like stuff like that. That's the behavioral interview that I had. And then the final one was a product oriented interview. For software engineers, this is another technical interview where like you do the same kind of question that was in the coding assessment, but with another human being there, and you got to talk through your um, thought process, the way that you solve the question, and just like overall be able to explain your logic to another human being. So that was the third step to applying to Roblox. It's more or less the same for other companies. Sometimes they have more, sometimes they have less steps to get to the internship. And then, so I think that's it for Aiden's question. Now for Nowell's question, I still don't know how to give the Robux. I will do the thing that I think someone else suggested, which was Google a YouTube video that teaches me how to give away Robuxes. And then whoever is like, I don't know, the people that I remember who were active during today's Fireside Chat is going to be the people who I give the Robuxes to, because I'm not going to use them after the summer. And then the environment, Logan, can you clarify the environment for like my job environment or something? Yes, like the work environment. So unfortunately, this internship is remote, so I'm actually staying at home. Well, not home. A cool thing that happened with this internship is that I'm rooming with two other Roblox interns. So all three of us are working at Roblox. We're coworkers and we're roommates at the same time. And we're in another city that none of us are from. So I thought it was a really cool experience. So that's the physical environment that I'm in. Whereas I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the train of thought. The work environment in terms of like who I work with is I guess, how do I, like, which parts of my work environment to describe in this question? It's I mentioned earlier that it's like very tight knit, and it's like it doesn't feel like a giant, not a giant, but like a relatively large company, because everyone is so close together, and like the Slack is very organized and easy to like communicate through. So and there's like, so the physical version of this is like an open door policy, but I guess an open DMs policy where like you can message anyone in the company like if you have any questions about their project, or if you want to know about their project to begin with, or if you have questions about their careers in the past, like before they started working for Roblox, stuff like that, you can easily message other people or those coworkers. And then let's see, there's oh, one of the things I absolutely love about um about Roblox is they what was the thing that I was gonna say? I'm so sorry. Open door policy, and then I said that yeah, I is using Roblox as your main income give you a good life? It definitely puts you in a lifestyle that is very comfortable, is what I'm gonna say. Unfortunately, it taught me some things like tax brackets, which meant that the more money I earned, the more money the government took from me, which means I busted my ass for them, not for me, which made me really sad because like once you earn your own money, it's like you care about it a million times more because you worked for it, and then it goes to somewhere that isn't yours, um which is kind of like a big bummer, but that's adulting. So if you want to like pivot this conversation into adulting, that's perfectly fine too. um Anya asked, how old do I need to be to get an internship in Roblox? I have coworkers or like co-interns who are freshmen in college. So I think you're like 18 when you're a freshman in college. Um, I can't answer the rent, mortgage, loan, taxes answer like accurately since I don't have firsthand experience on it. Um, but um, so okay, so this goes into the question of like which city are you living in, or how much your student loans are, stuff like that. Because the reason why Roblox pays so well is because San Francisco is a very, very expensive place to live in. So they have to offset the living expenses of San Francisco with a high salary. So everyone in San Francisco pays well in relation to like, let's say if you lived in Washington or like, I don't know, Wichita, Kansas. Um, yeah, so what are your favorite hackathon themes? Okay, so I like hackathon themes. So I used to be very hi Carol, welcome back. I'll get to your question right after. So I used to be very social impact heavy. And I wanted my hackathon projects to have like an impact on the world and like do something for the greater good, stuff like that. And it was very well intentioned, but then I started making like for fun kind of projects, and those are good too. And I realized that I didn't have to put like the weight of the world on my shoulders when even though it's just a hackathon project, like I can have fun with it. So I remember one of the things that I created that was just like for fun, one of the first things that I created that was for fun and not for social impact was like, I don't know if you know guys know My Anime List. It's like that giant repository of animes, and like you can track which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't, or which ones you want to watch. So we recreated that, but with like prettier user interface because My Anime List looks ugly right now because it's from like 2000s, probably older. So that was so I don't have a favorite hackathon theme because I want to switch my projects up a little from time to time. Um, but yeah, so that's the answer to Anya's question. And then for Carol, what do you normally do in hackathons and how are your experiences with them? Okay, so just in case someone's not familiar with hackathons, they're kind of like sprints of coding within 24 to 36 hours or 48 sometimes. That's become a thing because of the online hackathon thing. So for a weekend, you make a project, and then you pitch it to people and then win prizes. But there's also other aspects of the hackathons, which is workshops and like other learning experiences. And then there's also recruitment, which is like you find companies who sponsored the hackathon will be looking for interns or full-time employees to hire, and then they look for that in hackathons. So like they're recruiting at the event. So the things that I do at the hackathons, so I used to only code. Like I used to only make my project just like siloed on my desk, just doing my project, nothing else. And that, which was, yes, Elizabeth, we do get free food and swag. Exactly. A third of my closet is just hackathon t-shirts, which is like a little weird, but yes. So so I used to only care about coding in the hackathons, but then I realized, oh snap, I can get an internship right at this hackathon, because there was this one place called one hackathon called Tech Together Boston, and I got an interview right on the spot. Like in the middle of the hackathon while people were coding, I got an interview, and they were giving out a lot of interviews. So I thought that was pretty cool, because like they get to see you in your element of like creating something. So they know better what you're capable of doing. And then, okay, so while waiting, Anya, can you clarify your question? What did you plan for college? How did you plan for college? Okay, I think I got that. And then, okay, so Carol, how were my experiences in that? Every time I do a hackathon versus like I've made a lot of friends through hackathons, and it's very fulfilling, because like once you work with someone, it's a different level of like getting to know someone if you know how to work with them. And like I thought that was pretty cool. And like these are people that are gonna be in my network for a while, because we've gotten to know each other by like staying up until 3 a.m. on a Saturday night, coding and like nothing else. So I think that's pretty cool. And I just overall love hackathons so much. That's why I've been to them so many times. My goal before I graduate, which is like in a year at least, I don't know how long it's going to take me to graduate. So, that's another thing I want to impart. You don't have to finish college in 4 years. That's perfectly fine. You got to take care of what you need to take care of. And if that means you don't need to be siloed to the 4 years of college, or the 4 years thing. But yeah, my goal before I finish college is to get to 50 hackathons, and I'm at 36, so I think I have a chance of getting to the 50. Who knows? And then how did I make sure I got into a good college and choose courses? Okay, so this is going to be a huge breakdown. I'm like pulling up my sleeves to like get ready for this. When you're applying for colleges, there are a lot of factors that that go into play. Stuff like, can I afford this college, which was the most important thing for me. Like I needed a very affordable, not going to break the bank kind of university. And then my exception was like, okay, if it's an Ivy League, maybe it's worthy of like the student loans that it will incur, because it will give me an edge against everyone else, stuff like that. But so the financial aspect was the most important for me, the important factor for getting a good college. And then there's also like, is it close to where you want to be? Like, is it in a big city or in the middle of nowhere? Do you want that? Do you want to stay close to where your family is? Stuff like that. There's also, does it have the program that you want to do? Which is like, I guess you have to go a little bit into what you want to do with your life. Which is, it's a little messed up to think that like a 17-year-old will know what they want to do for the rest of their lives at 17. And I have like a whole lot of feelings about that. But knowing what you want to do will help determine what college you go to, but it's perfectly fine because like everyone changes. I wonder what I want to do when I'm 64. Um, you um yeah, so the you gotta you not you gotta you kind of have to have to this sounds so bad. You kind of have to know what you want to do with your life so that you can choose the college that best fits that. But if you're not completely sure, you can choose based on every other factor, and then just um explore the options that are in that school, that you like because of every other factor that you're trying to consider. And that is how, like that, um weighing what, like going into a reflective mode and like figuring out what do I really want out of a college in terms of finances, in terms of location, in terms of um academic program, in terms of social life, in terms of um programs, like do they have a good career center, or do they have a good um like counseling system, like counselors and stuff, or disability accommodations, stuff like that. Like if those are what matter to you, then weigh those in and then consider those against the schools, like compare the schools based on those. um and then I guess how to make sure you get into a good college is like um a lot of, so if you guys have seen what the college apps look like, there are a bunch of things like, okay, your academic I don't remember everything, but like they ask for your academic transcript. So you got to think about your GPA, what courses you take, whether you take APs or IBs or whatever else alphabets there are. Um, you and then there's extracurriculars, so you got to make sure. So something that I've seen a lot of high schoolers do is just like do everything, like literally everything under the sun. But one suggestion that I have for that is, instead of doing everything that you can and like doing, because you can only list like 10 extracurriculars in the Common App, I think, if I remember correctly. So like there's only so many things you can do. So quality over quantity. Instead of doing a bunch of different things to bolster up your it's okay if you don't completely know what college is right now. I guess this is for preparation, and then because I don't know the transition between middle school to high school, because I never, like, my country didn't have middle school. But yeah, so I'm sorry if you can't relate, but this is for the high schoolers that are going into college. um let's see. I think the thing that I was on was um I think the thing that I was on was shoot. Oh, doing extracurriculars, right. So we or no, you usually see high school students just doing everything, but my suggestion is quality over quantity. So do things from your freshman year until your junior year, and then put that in your in your Common App, and then that will show that, okay, this student has been invested in this extracurricular activity for so long, they must love it so much. So if that was like a coding camp, or a volunteering group, stuff like that, if you've been invested in that for so long, for like a chunk of your high school career, they'll be able to see, okay, this person must be passionate about this cause or this topic. So they're more like let's say you did a coding camp for 3 years and you're applying for computer science, they are more likely to accept you for that, because they know that you are interested in the topic, and that you've shown interest in the topic, and that you've explored it, and that you like know what goes into it and stuff like that. So those are other things that like make sure you can get into the good college that you want. Your extracurriculars, and then I think I'm running a little bit out of time. So like choosing courses, that's like a little bit later. Some of the suggestions that I have is like, uh, so there are, unfortunately, most colleges have core requirements which are like classes that you don't really need. Like they aren't related to your major. Like I took philosophy classes, I took sociology classes, I took a linguistics class, which was super duper fun, but it's not related to my like degree. So those you definitely have to, most schools will make you take them. Sociology is like the study of society. I don't know if that was the question that you were asking. But you have to take into account taking those courses as well as taking your major courses. But like most schools have a software that helps you do the scheduling. They have academic advisors, which are definitely helpful and useful. So take it, like use your academic advisors once you get there for choosing your courses. You, depending on the school, you don't have a lot of leeway in terms of what like choosing the courses itself, except outside of electives. So the electives you do get to choose. Some schools have more electives than others. Like I know Ivy Leagues have like a whole plethora of things that they can study, whereas state colleges, city colleges like mine, they're just like a small handful. It's like it depends entirely on like that kind of stuff. What can I do as a middle schooler to help get into a good college? So one of the things is like once you're in high school, your middle school doesn't, once you're already in high school, your middle school doesn't matter as much. And once you're already in college, your high school doesn't matter as much. And then once you're in like the workforce, your college doesn't matter as much. So like it's like those steps are like somewhat related but not completely overlapping. And I guess some of the things that you can do is like explore while you're young, like while you still have time, try to figure, like, remember when I said that it would help if you already knew what you wanted to do by the time you are applying for college. So right now, um so right now as a middle schooler, you can figure out, okay, do I want to do software engineering? Do I want to do product management? Do I want to do musical theater? I don't know. Exploring that now would help you in the long run. And then if you already know what you want to do, just like continuing that course of action, so that, because like the earlier you start, the bigger your edge is going to be, which is like astounding to me, because like I was competing in a hackathon called Technica, and there were middle schoolers in the same hackathon and they were like winning, and I was like, wow, that is wild. Because they were already accomplishing so much, and like we were on the same stage. And I was in college and they were in middle school, so that was, I thought that was super duper cool. So there's definitely a lot that you can do as a middle schooler that will help you in the long run. But also I would want to note that there is time, so you do not have to stress about this now. You have time to have fun, take care of yourself, to get some sleep, stuff like that you might not have as much time to do as you move forward. But yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't like thank you for the clarification, Aiden. I guess I was a little too late there. And then I think this can be the last question that I answer with the very last minute that I have. Do you have any tips on managing time, work-life balance, and responsibilities? Take care of yourself first. No one is going to love you more than, no, that is debatable, but like hopefully no one is going to love you more than you love yourself. So make sure that you get all the food that you need, all the sleep that you need, all the bare necessities and like basic human rights that like you need as a human being before you try to do everything else that you want to accomplish. So like I'm gonna assume that because y'all are all here at STEM League that you're overachievers, or like you have a lot that you want to accomplish and stuff like that. But there has to be a balance between doing that long haul view of like accomplishing everything that you set out to do and taking care of yourself and making sure that you have everything that you need, and like you're not burning out, for example, you're not neglecting your relationships, stuff like that. And like never, it's a very difficult thing to do because I'm still trying to learn it. Don't put too much on your own plate. Like learn to relationships as in like family, friends, those are relationships too. But yeah, so um when you're, so for the, oh, don't put too much on your own plate. It takes a while to learn how much you can really handle, but it's good to know, like it's good to figure out like how many hours of work a week are you capable of doing without burning out, how many classes are you capable of taking without burning out, stuff like that. Note that like, yeah, but basically those are important things to take note of so that you know how to plan ahead, stuff like that. Yeah, I am at 12:01, so I will respect your time. This is my last slide. That is, if you want to text me, if you want to email me, if you want to add me on LinkedIn, if you want to find my website, all of those are here. Screenshot it if you want. I think, I don't know if, yeah, because like I don't think, it's a very short slide deck. I don't know if I should still share it, but like if you guys want to screenshot it so you can contact me, that's totally cool. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Isabel. Like, I think that I'm recording this, so I will post it so that they can screenshot the video if they need to or the slides. But thank you so much. Like, I really resonate with a lot of your advice, and like I would basically just emphasize everything Isabel said because that's like my experience too as well. And thank you for being such a role model for these students and sharing about your career in like college. Yeah, this is like our last brown bag of the summer, and we have like the graduation later today, so it's like, oh, pretty exciting but kind of sad. It's like the last one, but we're first, I'm really appreciative that you were able to join us today, and I'm sure the students really enjoyed it too. So thank you guys, and thank you, Isabel, especially for your time. Sorry, I won't ramble on too long. I just want to remind you guys, make sure to tune in at 4 p.m. Same Zoom link, but different passcode. I'll see you at graduation. And Isabel, like if you are not busy, feel free to join us. We'd love to have you. But thank you guys. All right, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.